Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Friday edition of Moohead Radio. I told you I would be back on Friday. The last 8 days, I have been suffering from a cold that is like one of these major cold kind of deals, and it took my voice away completely, and so I missed Monday's show.
How
And
bad is it?
well, I mean, let's put it this way. There were, and even now, I feel like because of allergy season hitting in Florida at the same time, I'm getting hit from two different directions. Today's program is going to be a little bit of a departure, which I'm sure everybody's standing up and applauding.
Yay!
The
Oh,
the
man.
idea of the genesis of this podcast and the programming I've been doing for 25 years now, it was all pretty simple. It was that at the time, uh, I was given some medication that I shouldn't have been, and I couldn't sleep, and I was just like, and I want to do something that was fun and something that would keep me busy. I had no idea it would be a 25-year, Dancing with the Stars, but it's been fun. But the reason behind it was I wanted to find something to talk about that I enjoyed. I'm a fan, have been a fan for a long time. And it's easy when you do this program to fall into a trap where you're just saying things for reaction's sake. How many people are subscribing? How many people, live viewers, do you have at a given instant? How many people overall listen to the program after the archive runs? All of these things, but at the heart of it still is that I'm a fan. And I wanted to play something, and this was from today's uh, uh, 5 Good Minutes with Wendy, Brian Windhurst. And everybody knows that I have a good relationship with
Yeah,
Brian
we love
Windhurst,
Brian.
and the local guy who made it good. And this is what I have chosen to play for you first. And this is where the show begins. Here we go.
I know that the Cavs organization is very smart, but I also know that Cavs fans are smart. And when Cavs fans notice that Jared Allen looks like a different player with James Harden out there and not Evan Mobley, I understand that the Cavs organization probably realized the same thing. What is the conversation around the league right now about that dynamic?
I have a very short answer to that. I don't want to hear anything about Jaron Allen and Evan Mobley in the regular season. I only care about how they're going to look in the postseason.
That's it.
Whoa.
That's what Brian Winters had to say today. Now, I'm a little bit let down, and the reason is the fan in me knows from wanting to cheer the team on and do well. But I do a lot more researching online than the average fan does because I do a broadcast. And
other people have to work. And
I think everybody,
not my excuse.
everybody feels like the Cavaliers have underperformed in the postseason. I don't think this is not a new take,
news. No,
not a fresh take, and it's something that, quite honestly, I'm sick of hearing. And I'm let down that I'm hearing this from the number 2 ESPN guy in their bureau. It disappoints me. I can understand why it's sad because Jared Allen is soft, the Cavaliers are soft. They had the best record of the league last year, and they just fell apart in the playoffs. And the year before, they fell apart to the Knicks, and yada yada yada. All right. But there's a different way of looking at this. Instead of focusing on here's what the Cavaliers have done in the past year, 2 years, and proven themselves to be soft, I want to take a broader look and to take a look at what the league has done and how that affects the way we think about the team that we are allegedly cheering for. All right. And here's where this all starts for me. And I'm going to share something else because I just do enjoy. I enjoy my job here, even though I don't get paid for it. Let's this is what I wanted to put up as the visual representation of the program, and there we go. If you maybe we have to add
I haven't
this.
seen it yet.
All right, let's. There goes. Well, wait a minute. This thing drives me crazy, like no one else. Why isn't this showing?
Cannibals.
Yeah. Well, it says stop screen, but I was sharing the screen. And it says share the screen. And I choose what I want and I share it. And it's not coming up. All right, here we go. Now we're going to do it like this. All right, there we go.
There
All
we
right.
go.
This is my representation of how the NBA controls the narrative about teams. I will judge the Cavaliers the way Brian Windhorst did the day that I see the NBA become consistent in the way they treat every team in the league. And until that changes, I'm not going to take the lazy take and piss all over the one franchise in Cleveland that actually continues to improve itself and continues to be competitive year in, year out. And even though they are a neglected, medium-sized, small market. What I want, and it's like, oh, so he's going to blame the refs. That's what this show is about. I'm just going to share a story with you so that you can understand what I'm saying. We get James Harden, and we.
God, I know where this is going. I could. Oh
yeah,
God.
And we get rid of Darius Garland in the process. Yep. And we know that Harden has played for a lot of title contenders over the course of his NBA career.
God, yeah.
And there is one thing that has been consistent about James Harden until now.
He gets fouls called on him, except for when he's a fucking Cavalier.
That's right. Harden drew fouls like shit draws flies with every contending team that he played for until now. In his years with the Rockets, he drew over 500 fouls per season.
500.
500. And that would be over the course of, the number of games that he played.
That would be about seven a game.
But in his 5 years with the Rockets, he actually drew 10.4 per game. Okay.
10.4.
Right. Now, so they do keep statistics on stuff like this, folks. If you're not lazy and you start,
I didn't know that because I'm too lazy to look.
Well, I mean, most people just say, well, there are people who are just going to use stats to clobber you over the head. But this is something that every basketball fan, and especially every Cavalier fan, should know.
Oh, God, it's blatantly obvious.
In his time in Cleveland, extrapolating the 7 games he's played in Cleveland over a full season, all right?
Yeah.
It would be 200.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like 2 calls a game.
40%. Yeah. He would go from 500 fouls, as far as, and it would wind up 200 with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And here's the thing about the NBA that bothers me. The NBA wants to make sure that the lesser teams don't tank games. That's all they're talking about now is tanking. Oh, we can't allow tanking because that's not good for the image of the league. But you see, whether they tank or not, they're still lousy teams. And that's what the problem is. That if the Wizards decide they're going to tank, there were years when they decided not to tank and they still sucked.
And you wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have the horses, plain and simple. But you see, they don't mind lousy teams remaining lousy, but they do love a great opportunity to send Luka Doncic down to California, to Los Angeles, on a deal that made no sense, that made the team that Luka played for into a shit team.
Yeah.
And they're now trying to tank to try to get things back together again. And they did it to keep the Lakers in the conversation that, oh, they're going to be in the playoffs. and they didn't give a shit about Luka's past, what he did for his franchise. None of it. They didn't care. They allow the Wizards to suck every year. And the same thing with Sacramento. They don't care. And if you want to find out what hell is, ask DeAndre Hunter. He's not going to play again. He has an eye infection that's going to keep him out for the rest of the season.
What happened to him?
He had some kind of an infection in his eye. But the good news is that maybe he'll never have to see Sacramento. So it won't have to bleed into his system.
Wow.
So these teams and others like them have accepted the whole concept of we're just going to suck.
The script, yeah.
The fan base just says, well, we can go out and get a hot dog. We have something to do tonight. And plus, there's not going to be very many people there. And there's not that much of a hassle getting out of the parking lot. And we can see a good team come in and kick the shit out of the Wizards. All right.
Yeah, but we can maybe get a T-shirt and one of those little basketballs, that they throw up in the air. Yeah.
Now, while the league is concerned about tanking, you see, we have an owner in Cleveland who brings a really good product to a medium-sized market, takes on all the apron taxes. He's punished by officials allowing any team to rough up the Cleveland Cavaliers, while the NBA broadcast partners spread the Cavs are soft narrative. Not to mention the asinine proximal foul bullshit that can nullify a successful coach's challenge. Not to mention giving the other team a continuation call for a second player after overturning a lousy call. And let me get to this, because if you can do this and twist the rules of NBA basketball to the degree that they are doing to fuck over teams, this was the thing against the Knicks. And of course, the Knicks didn't challenge us because they didn't show up that night. If you remember the play, and a lot of people, they don't pay attention. Now, the Cavs are up 18 points. Fuck it, we're going to beat the Knicks. Woohoo! That's it. But the Cavaliers just had a successful challenge, right? When it happened, and they, no one's talking about this. Brunson drove one-on-one against Keon Ellis, who defended him successfully without fouling him.
Correct. Oh, yeah, he knocked the ball out.
But they called it a foul.
They did.
Brunson attempted a shot that hit the rim and then was tipped back up by Mitchell Robinson, but the foul was already called during that time frame on Keon Ellis's defense of Brunson.
Yeah, remember this well.
Kenny calls the timeout and challenges. The refs come back and say it's a successful challenge. But lo and behold, because it was not a foul, imminent possession considers it Mitchell Robinson's ball, who tipped it in.
Yeah, even though the whistle blew.
Only the Cavaliers could have a successful challenge that awards the opposing team 2 points. Now, if you're a fan and you sit and get off on this, then maybe you should find Morticia Adams or some kinky bitch to kick the shit out of you in your living room, because this is stupid. You're paying all your fucking hard-earned money to watch the game, and the game isn't there.
Wow.
That can't be true. I mean, proximal possession was designed of, well, whoever got their hands to the ball, who was going to get the ball. Now that we know it wasn't a foul, who would have come up with the ball? If it's not clear, you do a jump ball. If it is clear, that team gets the ball. But how does he get the ball and put it back in and get continuation on a play that he wasn't part of because the foul stopped the play?
I think you need the John Madden voice for that.
Oh my God.
I mean, yeah, it should have been side out to the Knicks at worst.
Well, they said it wasn't a foul. So, I mean, nobody, if he tipped it up, then he didn't have control of the ball. What if the ball had hit him off the head and went in the basket?
Wow.
I mean, this is the way the league gets its way. And it really fucking pisses me off because there's so many examples of this that happens all the time. How many free throw attempts per game by season did James Harden have? Yes, they keep stats for that. And I'll read them to you because his career started in Oklahoma City. We know that he really got going with the Houston Rockets. Here's starting with the Houston Rockets, all right? 10.2, 9.1. This is starting in 2012. 10.2, 9.1, 10.2, 10.2, 10.9, 10.1, 11, and 11.8.
Wow.
The fucking crazy Russian owner buys the Brooklyn Nets, right?
Yep.
You know, I'm going to move them to New York City. This is the reason why I do this. So he goes there to a lousy team, the Nets. Suddenly it's down to 7.3 free throw attempts per game. And then he gets moved to Philadelphia. And you know, Philadelphia, the process that never processes, 6.2 free throws a game.
Yeah.
And then the Clippers, it's like the Clippers.
Yeah.
They're the second. Yeah. And that's a good comparison. Ironside would be the Lakers, and Mark? He would be the Clippers. He averaged 4.19 free throws and then 6.39. So literally, he lost 40% of his free throws, and now in Cleveland, he starts out much the same way. So, what has happened? Well, they've managed to injure James Harden because he got body blocked to the floor, and he had to catch himself with his offhand, and he's got a fracture, a displaced finger fracture, and the reason is because, and they didn't even call a foul.
Yeah.
He was going in just trying to lay the ball in. And the guy wails him to the ground. That it's like, hey, welcome to Cleveland. Not a whistle, not anything. Injury. You're wondering why the Cavalier players are all injured. It's the league who's allowing this to happen. Make no mistake about this. Now, they can't control exactly how a guy's hand is going to hit the floor, but, let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit, the more that you allow a team to rough another team up, the greater chance something is going to happen.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe that, then now you see Keon Ellis. He has a displaced finger fracture. And they allow other teams, even shitty losing teams, 500 teams, just to whale people when they're playing the Cavaliers. My greatest example is a meaningless team in Houston. And yes, I'm going to go back and piss all over that owner. You've got Şengün. He's a goon, all right. They let him throw his elbows, man, like he's doing Chubby Checker's latest dance. What the fuck? Just throwing his arms around. And you take a look at the teams like, you look at SGA in Oklahoma City where he was playing, or anyone now on Oklahoma City. Look at Lou Dort. Oh, he's the best defensive player. Well, Jesus Christ. He's got pretty good foot speed. I'll give that to Lou Dort. He's so quick that he can go off the court, rape somebody's wife, and then come back and beat up the player all in one possession. It's horse shit. I'm watching this team, and it's like, well, yeah, you would get a lot of breakaway points too if you just rip the guy's arm off and take the ball from him.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
So this is all the stuff, and you can see where the line is drawn. And this notion, Mr. Windhurst, I'm going to wait for the playoffs. And what are you going to learn? What are you going to learn in the playoffs? That the Cavaliers won't get a single fucking call. And it doesn't matter. If they're playing the Knicks, they won't get a single fucking call. If they're playing the Celtics, they won't get a single fucking call. If they're playing the Pistons, God only knows. The Pistons, 3 of them, will go into Cleveland in Cleveland's home games and attack the families of the players. They won't get a fucking call. So people are saying, I think I'd rather have the 2 seed than the 4 seed, or I'd rather have the 4 seed than. Fuck it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There is no home court advantage when the league cheats. Do you get it, booby? That's it. I mean, it's not like, well, at least we can get some calls on our home floor. No. That's not it at all. You're not ever going to get any calls because you're one of the have-nots. And you know why you're one of the have-nots?
Why? Tell us.
Because we have an owner in Cleveland who keeps spending more and more, and he wants to win, and he makes moves to get players, and the league has to keep up by cheating the team more and more. Yeah, I'll be the first to admit the Cavaliers look soft. But you know something? Fat boy like me, if I'm walking through the wrong end of town in New York City, I'm going to look pretty soft too. If I got 6 guys beating my ass up on the street corner, I'm going to look pretty soft too. How long does it take before the players realize we keep getting this far? We have really a good regular season, and then we get here and we get ass raped. How many times does it have to happen? And this is me as a fan speaking, because you can say this is what the Cavaliers did last year and the year before. How come nobody is saying how thrilled they are that we got James Harden? How come nobody's saying how thrilled they are that we got Keon Ellis?
Yeah.
Or that we got rid of an underperforming DeAndre Hunter who was a sad sack and wasn't performing, and that we had an owner who had the testicles to go out and do something about it.
He did.
And
basically, we traded George Niang and Claris LeVert and ended up getting Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder.
I mean, I look at this and I say, if you're a fan, they're the only organization in Cleveland that wins. The Guardians don't. And God only knows the Browns don't. So it bothers me. Taking the easy step, I'm going to wait until the postseason. I want to wait until the NBA becomes a fair league. And you know when that's going to happen?
Never.
Because it's corrupt. Everybody's worried about, there's going to be gambling issues. And that, man, they've got it all covered. They're getting the revenue from the goddamn, crooked betting people. They're getting money from fans who are just handing over parts of their paychecks. They're getting that money. And then they invest a little bit of the money to say, and make sure you be careful when you're gambling at the end of every commercial. And
Here's the third quarter point spread, and
yeah,
gamble wisely.
and remember, little Timmy's future hangs in the balance. And if you're drinking too much, seek help.
Here's that college fund.
Right down the shitter. So again, they're making money off the whole gambling thing, which is totally dishonest to begin with. And they're controlling which teams are the top teams. And if you look at the East and you say to yourself, now say it out loud to yourself,
All right.
or as Mike and the mechanics would say, sing it loud, sing it clear.
Proud or whatever.
Yep. Stop and think. Here's what it is. It's the Pistons. It's the Celtics. It's the Knicks. And it's the Cavaliers. Last year, if you remember, if you have a memory, the Cavaliers were the number one team. And a funny thing happened. Suddenly, the Pacers became great. And the league's like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to call up the Indiana Pacers coach. We're going to say, hey, buddy, we're going to look the other way while you literally rape each of these players. And don't worry about them as a dynasty. We're not going to let Dan Gilbert have no fucking dynasty, not like the Lakers and the Celtics and the Knicks. We're not going to let that happen, even though the Knicks haven't won dick in God knows how long.
I think like 1970 was.
Yeah, I mean, Walt Frazier still doing the broadcast, wearing his fur coats, and he's like, you know, I kind of remember what it was like winning, but boy, I haven't seen it lately. And that's what you have.
Yeah.
But if you put those four teams at the top, you can honestly look at me seriously and say, it matters where your seeding is? Do you think the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to get any kind of a shake in a series that automatically, if they're the fourth seed, that they won't have a home court advantage if they make it through their first round, and that they're going to somehow be able to leverage wins on the road in New York, in Boston, or in Detroit? Do you really believe that? And I have something else to say. If you're the league and Detroit is the story, well, we were the fucking story last year with the with a tremendous record, right?
Yeah.
And now it's the Pistons. And, you know, it's funny. Nobody's saying, I wonder if Cade Cunningham will revert back to being a 40% shooter in the playoffs when everything changes, when the pressure's on. Or nobody's saying J.B. Bickerstaff's never known an offense that would be worth a shit. But, you know, we think that we think they're the team of the future. No. You know what they are? They're a team that had to ascend to the East by beating people up, by starting brawls and fights. That's what they are. You know, we're going to go back to an old script, and we're going to say the bad boys of the NBA. We're going to bring back, you know, Lambeer, and we're going to bring back that whole bunch of goons. And there's going to be, so now they're Duran, and now there's Beef Stewart, and you know, and they're just going to beat the shit out of people. And they literally get suspended, and it's like, yeah, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a team that really isn't that good, but we're going to give them every single benefit of the doubt until the playoffs. Do you think they're going to, the NBA is going to allow Beef Stewart to plant elbows in the throats of Boston Celtics? Fuck no.
No.
Fuck no. That's not going to happen. So all you people who are Detroit fans, enjoy the ride. We were on the ride last year. Enjoy it. Enjoy it.
There's been other examples too in recent history. Like, remember the Atlanta Hawks put together that one year where they were like 65 and bullets. So they
and LeBron and the Cavs.
Raped. Yeah, they got ass raped. Toronto Raptors actually won a championship somehow.
Yeah,
you know, but there's always examples of number one seeds in the East being some unexpected team and then getting ass raped in the playoffs. It's happened a lot of times.
I mean, Beef Stewart and Jalen Duren don't help you put the ball in the basket. They punch people in the face or elbow them in the gut, but they don't help you score enough points. And if you're not getting calls, or God forbid, if every proximal call goes to the Boston Celtics, it doesn't really matter. And if the NBA had its way, you know what they would do. They would sit back and say, the Pistons have been quite a story, so we want them to be one of the final four. But the final two, we're going to fall back on the Boston, New York story.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Because they're two markets, they have a history together, and it's like we're at a fucking time warp. I mean, this isn't goddamn Arbach and
1971, yeah.
And it's not Larry Bird, and it's not Bill Russell, and it's not Walt Frazier, it's not Willis Reed, it's not that anymore. These teams really, Tatum's coming back, and it should be just perfect timing, and you can see it all coalescing. That's what you can see. So, Detroit fans, enjoy the ride. It ain't real. This is what they want. But now, what have I seen from the Cavaliers? Well, it's going to be hard to tell now because all of our guys are injured. Because in the last 7 games since we've gotten them, teams are just beating the shit out of the Cavaliers.
Oh, God, man. Schroeder got thrown around like a rag doll.
Absolutely.
The other night against by the Bucks.
Yeah, and the Bucks are an under 500 team. What would the benefit be? The only benefit for the league is to hurt Cleveland. I'm sorry. That's the bottom line, Mr. Windhurst. And you're going to reserve your judgment. I'm going to speak my fucking judgment now because I've been watching this. And you can't tell me, that all the ingredients in a stew change and the stew still tastes the same. You can't tell me that. I'm too fucking smart to believe that. So you don't have Ty Jerome now. You don't have DeAndre. You don't Hunter. You don't have Darius Garland. Who else don't you have?
Strus.
Yeah, right. You don't have any of those players. And the same thing is just the same problem. It's infected the organization. It's like a bacteria in the locker room. That's lazy reporting, Mr. Windhurst. That's lazy reporting. That's going with the flow, the NBA flow. Make it a fair game, and let's see how we do. Let's see how the Cavaliers do. And assuming that we have a healthy Harden, and I really don't care whether we're the 1 through 4. I don't care.
It doesn't matter. I mean, LeBron routinely finished at 4th and 3rd. And we went to the finals like 4 straight years in a row.
LeBron broke the Celtics' hearts. He broke the Hawks' hearts. He, over
Toronto,
the Pistons. Yeah. You name it. He broke their hearts, and it's like, fadeaway shots at the buzzer. Bank shots while he's falling out of bounds, 28 feet from the basket. I mean, it's not something the league was controlling. It was that we had a great player. And to be honest, he was the most marketable player in the league, even though some fans in Cleveland don't want to acknowledge that. Yeah. He was the most marketable player at that time, not now, but at that time in the history of the NBA.
Yeah, that was 10 years ago now.
And yes, LeBron got calls. Yes, he did. He also took punishment, but I'm not going to say that other big time players haven't taken punishment. My goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, Giannis, the only punishment worse that he takes physically, because he's not a 3-point shooter and he's got to take everything to the basket, is that he has to go back into the locker room and see that Jimmy Haslam's part of that organization.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, that's more injurious than anything that an opponent could do to him. So, I guess it bothers me more than anything, the lazy takes, The
other thing you can mention is that Kenny Atkinson, how is it possible that he is like 80% correct or 75% correct on his challenges. I mean, it's because the calls are so
Obvious.
egregious.
They're
They're
obvious.
so egregious
Yeah.
that the league has to reverse them because they've been caught out. And my God, if we had more than one made challenge and then we're allowed the second one, if we were allowed 3 challenges and then you kept them, we'd be the game would never end because we'd be challenging
By the
calls.
end of the game and the final 2 minutes where games are won and lost, if you don't use those things, they'll just keep making egregiously bad calls over and over again and fuck you in regulation that way. If you use and you get 80% of them overturned, you have none for the final 2 minutes of the game anyway,
Correct.
because they keep throwing so many bad calls at you that you try
That's
to
right.
use them at the most advantageous time of the game. And you have none. And then the last 2 minutes come down and they just make 6 ass raping
And they
calls.
lie.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're out of the game. That's the end of it.
I mean,
They
that
have you from
Schroeder
every
one-
angle.
That Schroeder one the other night, man,
Ugh.
was just fascinating.
Well, it's just that's how they have to cheat when fucking Schroeder scores 26 goddamn points.
Yeah.
When Schroeder actually starts making 3-point shots. And they had to, on the fly, figure out, well, we better tell them to start fouling and we'll turn our heads the other way. And that's how it
That's
goes
what
down.
happened. That's
And,
exactly.
All we can ask is to make it close in the end, and then whatever we need to do, we're only one call away from fucking Cleveland.
Yeah.
Cleveland, all this time it's taken them to catch up and tie the Knicks. Well, we're going to take care of that in one night now, aren't we? Lousy fucking 25 and 31 Bucks team that couldn't, I mean, incompetent team, a team that, and the thing that amazed me was that, KPJ, the murderous,
Yeah.
the Mr. Assault head case, a former Cavalier who never has amounted to shit because his attitude is all whacked out. He was able, because of his size and his height, just to put balls over guys in the final minute of the game.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have any of our players. And that's really what also contributed to that situation. But if you're down players, and the reason you're down players is because people are beating the shit out of you. Now, if you haven't heard, Dean Wade is hurt again. Now, he's got a sprained ankle again. And I don't know how many times he sprains the ankle, but I think at some point he needs just to go away.
Yeah,
Because his
ankle
body
replacement or something. I don't
his
know.
his body isn't strong enough to hold up because he's playing a position. He's not a big man, okay? And but it's not that he's soft, it's that he's just injury prone. And without him in the game, then you're dealing with the Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen dynamic, and that's what they're saying. Well, Jarrett Allen plays better when Mobley's not on the floor. Well, are you fucking retarded? Of course. I mean, if you put 2 guys who don't have shooting range and they want the ball in their hands down low, you have a traffic jam in the paint. I mean,
Right.
if you can't figure that out, you're daft. And the problem, and it was really funny. Here's Terry Pluto's headline. Oh God, I'm coming. Praise Jesus. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the biblical one. I just came on Leviticus. No, that's not the right one. Terry Pluto on what an early Cavs playoff exit might mean for the future of Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley. See what they're doing already?
They're priming us. They're priming us to suck dick. I don't know.
There is no reason to be concerned about Evan Mobley if he's doing his job playing defense, blocking shots, and getting rebounds, and doing an occasional offensive thing. He's not going to be more than that. I mean, in this offense, I mean, stop and think, please. I mean, stop listening to ESPN people and the national press. Stop paying attention to it and just look with your eyes. If you have two guys, Jared Allen, who's 6'9", but with his afro, he's 7 foot tall, and you've got Mobley, who's about 6'10", 6'11", and very long armed, and he was the defensive player of the year. And last year, he's a really good defensive player, but he really isn't shooting the ball well from behind the 3-point arc this year. But look at the offense that they have, and look what they've done. They've got Harden to handle the ball now, who's a better ball handler than Ty Jerome was, right?
Oh, God, yeah.
And Schroeder is a better ball handler than Ty Jerome was.
Better all-around player than Ty Jerome.
And we had to get rid of Darius Garland, but it didn't matter because Darius Garland, you can't really bring up a basketball with any tempo and pace if your leg's in a sling. So your foot. So you give up something to get something. Harden is going to handle the ball out front, and so is Mitchell. All right. There is never a reason for Evan Mobley to be bringing the ball up the court, Kenny.
None whatsoever.
There is no I mean, I understand that you don't want the young man to lose confidence. You've had a lot of faith in him, but you know something? You're fucking his head up. You're asking something of him, and it's more than he can do. And he doesn't have to do that. Stop and think for a minute. If Mobley wasn't hurt in the last game, they wouldn't have been getting the offensive rebounds that they were getting. But Jared Allen is not going to play 40 minutes, nor should he. But Jared Allen looks better now because Harden's getting the ball to him in the paint. And Evan Mobley's not standing there in the paint clogging it up. So he can catch the ball and go up quick. The two men on the floor together, if Mobley is going to be in the paint and Jared Allen is going to be in the paint, it's just a quagmire. It's not going to work. And the whole thing about Kenny Atkinson's offense from the time he got here, we're going to shoot a lot of threes. This is out of his mouth. I'm not putting words in his mouth. This is what he said. We're going to play an up-tempo game. We're going to get the ball up the court quickly, and we're going to shoot a good number of three-point shots, and we are not going to be afraid to score the basketball. Now, here's the problem. If you want to play up and down basketball, and the guys you're doing with it in it last year are Max Strus and Ty Jerome and one-footed Darius, you don't. And then by the end of the year, Donovan Mitchell got the same thing as this year. He's pulling his groin, and I know that's personal, but it's not good for his NBA career. And going up and down, playing a ragged pace, it relies on having a bench. And the bench didn't operate this year. I mean, DeAndre was a disaster. And we're not getting the help. But you can just see poor CPJ has lost his mojo because with Schroeder being brought in, he's not really needed anymore. They've totally forgotten about developing the other one. Yeah, right. Because Keon Ellis is here, and he's a really viable defensive player.
Is like missing man. He's in the Bermuda Triangle now.
Yeah, and you know who else is lost in the shuffle now?
Who?
Jalen Tyson.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, Jalen Tyson. What they said to him is, "We want you to be a 3-and-D guy." So he became like the number 2 3-point percentage shooter in the league. And while everybody was chasing Darius and when he was playing, or Donovan when he was playing, he'd camp out behind the 3 line and just knock him down. Now, I don't know if you saw what Kenny Atkinson said most recently about Jalen Tyson is
I haven't seen this.
That he's not happy with Jalen Tyson's defense and thinks he can do better. And he's not happy with Jalen Tyson's ball handling because he's turning the ball over too much. And if you look at the stats, such is the case. But again, this is misutilization of players. Jalen Tyson shouldn't be bringing the ball up the court. If you have two legitimate NBA veteran point
Hall of
guards
Famers.
on your no, I'm talking about Schroeder,
Schroeder
and Harden, the
Yep.
2 point guards.
Yeah.
Those are the guys who are really setting up things. Then you have the freelancer, Donovan Mitchell, who's one of the best scorers in the game. So why are you putting this additional pressure on Jalen Tyson? He's had a breakthrough second year. Why are you fucking his head up, man? He can help you. He's developed that 3-point shot and a really nice teardrop. You close out on him, he'll get around you, and he puts that floater off the backboard, or he floats it in the paint, and he has a very high percentage of finishing that way. He's doing something that Darius Garland was never smart enough to do, which was not to drive it all the way to the basket, but to be able to stop on a dime and just get the shot up before the big man closes on him. That's the beauty of what Jalen Tyson's brought to the team. But now Kenny's not happy with that, and he's fucking the guy up. And that's not good, because we have 2 legitimate 3-point top shooting guys, 3-point guys in Jalen Tyson and in Merrill. These 2 guys are good, really good 3-point shooters. You've got to figure out the offense so that the ball handlers can move the ball around. And when they throw the ball in to Jared Allen or to Evan Mobley, depending on who's on the floor at a given moment, that he's able to pass out, because there's a third guy, Keon Ellis, who's proving that he can nail threes as well. And that is consistent with the way that Kenny wants the Cavaliers to play. So that's all good. But it's not consistently happening because we're trying to fit this, this round peg into a square hole, and it's not working. You can't, Evan Mobley should be there always with his length to get offensive rebounds, to go after the ball defensively, and he can slide behind a 3-point line, get his confidence back. But you can't give him the ball, bring it over the court, and expect he's going to dribble it down the lane. Once he stops dribbling, they will strip him of the ball 90% of the time. And that's no good. So Evan Mobley has to learn something from Jared Allen. If they're not on the floor at the same time, he has to replicate some of the things that Jared Allen does, which means flash across the paint. When you get the ball, make a definitive move and either draw a foul or put the ball in. But you're shooting all your shots from short range. And in the case of Jared, he can use his body to get some rebounds. In the case of Evan, he's got the arm length and he can change shots, and he plays better defense than Jared Allen does. So this isn't that hard to figure out. But even if you do everything right, if the NBA just continues calling things in the ridiculous fashion that they are and showing blatant favoritism towards certain franchises, it doesn't make any fucking difference. So,
yeah,
Keon Ellis now has a fractured finger.
So who's alive and who's dead tonight? I mean,
what I'm hearing is that Donovan Mitchell's definitely out with the groin. That they've downgraded Dean Wade, which doesn't surprise me, because if he had a scratch, Band-Aid wouldn't stick on him. So he's not going to be out there, even though they say he's doubtful. Whenever he's doubtful, he does not play. There, Keon Ellis and Harden. Harden wants to play with the displaced fracture on his offhand, and Keon Ellis, and both of them went through shooting practice today. So there's a possibility they could play, but I think the belief is that Keon might be the one and that Harden will not be. because they can't, with the investment that they made here, they
They don't
can't.
want to get killed.
No, and the refs will just let people whack at the finger.
Yeah, because it's at Little Seizures Arena, isn't it? Tonight, national game, I believe.
It's on ESPN,
Yeah,
isn't it in
national game.
Cleveland? Or
I think it's Little Seizures.
well, why don't
Yes, definitely is.
we? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're not going to win the game. It doesn't make
No.
any difference. And again, it doesn't matter whether you're the number 2 seed, the number 4 seed, the number 5 seed. It doesn't make any difference. You got to be healthy going in. That's the most important thing. And basically, Keon didn't realize that he had fractured something until after the game, when Jared Allen looked at his hand and said, "Oh boy, you got a fracture," because he went through it twice. But
yeah,
he did.
yeah, Ron Shane's post, it sounds like we'll lose by a dozen. And that's what it sounds like. And I think there's a lot of trickeration going on with these games to make people lose money, So maybe the game will be really close, Who knows? If I say something's going to be close, it ends up being a blowout. So
Well, I don't think the game will be close. I
I
think
don't
that
think so. None of us do.
they're
but
going to just they want they really want the Pistons to be the bully on the block, and they're going to go out and a bunch.
yeah, I think
I
they
would be
outcoached
very
us.
concerned playing injured players.
Yeah.
I would be resting these people because they will try to take care of these players for good. They are not clean basketball players. I've never liked JB Bickerstaff. I wish somebody would punch him in the penis real hard, because it's one thing to preach defense. And I understand when you preach toughness, and you can be tough and not be the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Correct.
There's a thing called crossing the line, and it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem for the Cavalier players who are hurt. So I don't know. Merrill will be playing, and Schroeder, he sprained his ankle, but they're saying he's likely to play because he's not Dean Wade. So that's I don't know. I mean, I guess the way I would encapsulate all of this is they came out with the NFLPA team, ratings as far as everything, and the Browns, they treat families of the players lousy. They have lousy food. They have a lousy locker room. They've got a lousy offensive coordinator from last year. That was the head coach. A lousy special teams coordinator, lousy team travel, lousy head coach, and overall ranked 30th.
Wow.
As being a bad fucking organization. And here we are talking about Dan Gilbert, a guy who keeps bringing winning seasons to Cleveland, and had to do it around the chicanery of the Miami Heat taking LeBron James away with the league's help.
Yeah, tampering. There's so much tampering going on there.
And but he patiently built the team back up. They hit on draft picks. They're still hitting on draft picks, even though they don't have good drafts. They're still getting the Jalen Tyson guys, and even
Sam Merrill, even from out of
Sam Merrill out of nowhere. And I would say Naquan Tomlin, if he just stops shooting the threes, because my God,
no.
I swear to God, it looked like Timmy Bartholow out there.
Yeah, I mean, he's a shot clock violation every time.
He can't handle the ball. He is what he is. He's just a real scuffling player, but he's not going to. But people sit there, and you seem to forgive Jimmy Haslam. All right. And I can tell you, look at what's happened to the Bucks since he's become a minority owner. This guy's a cancer. He's bad news. and he's this, look how many billions of dollars this man has. Then why do they treat families like shit? Why do they have lousy food? Why do they have a lousy conditioning staff and they have injuries every year? Why do they have lousy offensive coordinators? Why is their team travel way below the league standard? Why?
Why is it?
And there's no excuse. He's just a bum. He's a goddamn fucking hillbilly bum. And you've got this other owner who's a wealthy guy with, Rocket Mortgage and all of that.
Yeah.
And for me to be defending him, I'm not defending anything but Dan Gilbert's record. You can go back and look at what happened to the Cleveland Cavaliers under previous ownerships and the other franchises in Cleveland. And here you have an opportunity to say, hey, this guy actually wins.
Yeah.
I mean, he's brought us, he brought us Kyrie Irving. And when we needed veteran help, he got us James Jones, and he got us, who was the Nick? J.R. Smith. And he
Shumpert and all
the
those
Shumpert.
guys.
Yep. I mean, brought in players that made a difference off the bench and gave us some depth and gave LeBron enough help to win that one championship.
Kyle Korver.
And Kyle Korver. And if you don't believe me about the league, just remember the definition of one and done is when the Cavaliers win the championship and they ship Durant over to Golden State to keep it going there.
Yeah.
That's how you know that something is a one and done. Nobody's going to do Dan Gilbert any favors. Nobody's going to do the Cavaliers any favors. You're not going to do your fans any favors. You keep subscribing to ESPN services through whoever your carrier is, and you listen to whatever the bullshit that's spewed on there. But the reality should be right in your face. You should be cheering because you're a fan. You should drop this "we're too soft" stuff. Drop it in light of what the Cavaliers are up against with the NBA. And if you want to focus on somebody who's doing something wrong, look at the Browns. If you want to look at somebody who doesn't deserve to be an owner in a professional sport, look at the Guardians. If you can't play with the big boys, you shouldn't be playing. I mean, I owned radio stations in Danville, Illinois, and Flint, Michigan, and Binghamton, New York. I mean, I wasn't vying to play radio in New York City or in Los Angeles or in the top 10 markets in America. I knew where my place was. But the goddamn Dolans have no place in today's Major League Baseball scenario because they don't have the money. They don't have the funds. Sell the team to somebody who has funds and let them get on with it. But don't cheer. You're already not showing up to the stadium to watch the Guardians play. Fuck that shit. They're back down to 18,000 fans a game. Nobody gives a flying fuck. Why don't you support the one goddamn team that consistently puts a good product on the floor and quit your fucking bitching? God. Just aggravates the hell out of me.
It does.
And meanwhile, before I leave the airwaves for now,
until we meet again,
Todd Monken,
Monken,
according to the headline on Cleveland.com, sees the worst kind of potential at the NFL Combine. And you see, now they're getting on Monken early because Monken wants to take a look at Deshaun Watson. And why wouldn't he? We're paying the motherfucker. You don't have a quarterback. You've got Dylan the midget. You've got Shador the unproven. And you've got a guy who's got experience and has proven he can play the game, but may be washed up.
Yeah, 4 years ago was his last decent season.
That's right. You got to take a look at all three of them. But you have to have an offensive line in front of either of the three. So, I mean, you're not going to draft a quarterback. So, Somebody needs to tell Jimmy Watkins to go fuck himself. Yeah. I don't want to hear this. And then this. Oh my God. Why is Mary Kay Cabbage cunt? Why is she still writing about Kevin Stefanski? He don't work here no more.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah. If you heard the story that Monken on his 60th birthday received a present from Shador, which was a porcelain horse head. All right.
Okay.
That's what the Italian mafia used to do, but with real horses.
Yeah.
Yep. So they went to Kevin Stefanski, who never got a gift from Shador, and why in the fuck should he? Because here's what Stefanski's quote was. You ready for this?
Okay.
I will say this, and this is for a Mary Kay Cabbage Head exclusive. I will say this. I love Shador. Well, let's do it like I will say this. I love Shador. Casey Kasem said, I loved coaching him. Seriously. He's got the right makeup for the game, and it was Maybelline. And he's wired the right way. Now, I'm just kind of looking at this and saying, why are we even talking about this? And the Browns have to find one of those three guys who will play decently at quarterback to bring them close to a 500 record and fill in the roster with people who can protect the quarterback and block for the running backs. And anyway, Kevin Stefanski has his own fucking problems because the assistant LaTroy Lewis down in Atlanta, he's been fired. The defensive assistant coach has been fired for sexual assault allegations. Sound familiar?
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
The Ann Arbor Police Department confirmed that it's currently investigating LaTroy Lewis. This happened in 2024 when he was a coach on the University of Michigan staff, which doesn't surprise me either.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, what that comes down to is, the woman is claiming that she got raped, flat out raped. She's not saying that, he made me play with his pee-pee. She's saying that she got raped in a hotel room, man. So, and the allegations against Lewis had come 3 weeks after Falcons player James Pierce Jr. was arrested in Florida, facing 5 felony charges stemming from an alleged incident on February 7th, where he crashed his vehicle into a car by his ex-girlfriend and WNBA player Ricky Jackson, and struck a police officer with his vehicle to start a subsequent chase. So I think Kevin shouldn't be wasting his time talking to his girlfriend in Cleveland. I think Kevin should be coaching his team and shut the fuck up. That's what I think.
Oh, what a world, man.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable stuff. And I wanted to leave this show with one last thing, because I'd like to go out on a high note.
Yeah, why not? Okay, give us some happy news.
Is it faith reaffirming that a man gets his job back? A guy loses his job and he gets his job back. You remember Dwayne Kuiper, the former Cleveland Indian.
Kuiper, yeah, the man of the one home run.
Right.
San Francisco Giants announcer, I believe.
Yeah. Well, his brother was a baseball announcer. And what I'm going to share with you right now is 3 years ago what got him fired. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to add to the stage. Ready?
Okay. Glenn Kuiper.
Glenn
Kuiper.
No, the video's unavailable.
No.
They took it down. This is what I'm talking about, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I think the headline says it all, though. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
But he was fired but he is being worked back into the system. All sins forgiven, you see. And I'm not going to quit at this point. I'm not going to quit. I want, you know, I'm going to do this. I'm sorry, folks, but I do not give up. Not that easily. I am a stubborn cow.
Boo.
I will find this. They can't take it down completely now.
Find you.
Let's see what we have. I got to get this off, though, and stop the screen here. Let's see what we have here now.
Here.
Good, I found it. You can't hide things from a cow for very long. So we're gonna go back in here and we're gonna share the screen, and it comes up. Da, 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 da. All right, and share and Sunny. There we go. All right. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
We had a phenomenal day today. Nigger League Museum and Arthur Bryant's Barbecue.
Wow.
Now listen.
Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. I just want to, a little bit earlier in the show, I said something didn't come out quite the way I wanted it to, and I just wanted to apologize if it sounded different than I meant it to be said. And like I said, I just wanted to apologize for that. He had a phenomenal day.
He had a phenomenal day. They went to the Negro Baseball Hall of Fame. All right. Now you tell me, did this come out of his mouth wrong?
Today, Nigger League Museum and Arthur Bryant's Barbecue.
He's back. And you know something? We're living in a time and in a place that we are forgiving the wrong fucking people. And the guy never officially apologized, for God's sakes.
Wow.
But he's back on part-time basis.
Well, he did have a great day. You know, he did have a great time.
Yeah, I feel bad because he didn't hit it out of the park either now, did he? So I guess he and his brother had something in common. But everybody, thanks a lot for tuning in. I made it through this extra time, and I do it out of love because I'm a fan. Yeah, I love you. Yeah. That hurts my throat more than my throat hurts doing Bruce Drennan. It's like,
that would hurt your throat.
Oh God, I'm coming. The whole idea of it, you know, we can have orgasm noises for all the impersonations. It's like, right now, I think I'm ejaculating. You know, this would be good, you know. And it's
Mark.
Take it all, Mark. You know, then you have, that's Ironside, by the way. I can't feel my toes. Mark, damn, you're good tonight. Yeah, and then of course there's oh my God, I think I'm going to explode in your mouth. Yeah. Dwayne Stat, you know, trying to make it interesting.
Oh, baby.
Oh, no. I haven't been able to do that in a long time, Bronk. It's not my fault, baby. I don't care who would be sucking on Hobbin the Knob. I can't do it anymore. Oh, my God. All right, everybody. Enjoy your evening. Cavaliers on at 7 o'clock on ESPN, and we're going to take our whipping. And but if you're a fan, you'll be watching, and no more excuses about softness. Let's give this team a chance before we judge them. Because when you judge people who are different group of players, you can't put them in the same situation as somebody who played 2 years ago or 1 year ago and aren't even on the roster anymore. Stop
Yeah.
that, man. Be a good fan. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But it could be a lot worse. You could have that one and done that Indiana had and all their players. So, and they traded Matherin. They didn't want to have to deal with his attitude.
Yeah.
And and they're waiting for their guy to get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they've tanked during the course of the season. It's not easy staying at the top if you're not New York, Boston, Los Angeles. And now Golden State can't say that anymore. They can't do that anymore.
Yeah, they're going to be one of the also ran.
What they're going to do is they're making the Pistons. We were the team last year. The Pistons this year. They're going to have to make up teams out of the Central because
I'll probably be the Bulls next year or something. I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, but you can see a guy like Kneppel who's playing for the Hornets. He's a fine basketball player. He really has an offensive game. So they can play him up, although the organization has never won. But they have.
Oh well, they'll move him to Los Angeles.
Sure, they'll find a way to get him out there. They
They'll
most
get him
certainly
out to
will.
L.A. Yeah.
And they won't have to give up anything for him. That's the important thing. Everybody, thanks a lot for tuning in and watching. I will be back again with you on Monday. I'm surprised my voice is held up, and I'm going to go take my shower, and then I'm just going to jerk off because I can't find a hooker down here. And I'm going to sit down. I'm going to watch the Cavaliers on ESPN and chill out. Thanks, Bronk. I appreciate you keeping stealing my spine.
Yeah, I didn't have much to say today, but I've been kind of distracted. So anyway,
everybody have a good night, and until Monday, hasta la vista, Packheads. Good night.